Hi everybody, and welcome to another Friday's tutorial. And for this Friday I want to talk to you and give away tips on how to draw and to connect the nose and the mouth. Next week I think I will be doing her eyes because they are looking up. But for today I want to stay focused on the nose and mouth and chin area, because I've had a lot of questions about it and I'm struggling with it too. It's a difficult area to get that connected, and especially when you are drawing a tracar, so 3 parts and 1 part rotation of the face, then you have to take extra notice of the negative space area. And I am drawing this out for you here. You can see the chin coming from in front of the neck. And then we have to also pay attention to this area here. And I'm pointing this out to you so that you get a good idea of where the face ends, and also how to start and to see the corners of the mouth in comparison with the nose. And this whole tutorial, of course, can be watched live on my Patreon page, where I draw and talk at the same time. In this YouTube version, the drawing part is fasted forward a little bit. Now, what you also see is, what you want to try is to get that touch of 3D. So, where to start? Well, let's first point out the left nose entrance. And then you see that the attachment of the tip of the nose is slightly underneath that left nose entrance. And the right one is actually not to be seen. But once you've pointed out that nose, then you can easily see where the mouth corners are. So this is the right one, and that one is not going past the tip of the nose, while the left mouth corner is way off and is really going past the left nostril. So this is how you see that tracar. So actually the line of the mouth is 3 to 1, maybe 1/4 and 3/4. So that is very important, and we see it a lot. People draw an awesome portrait, but then all of a sudden the mouth is out of place, and that's a terrible shame, because this will ruin your portrait drawing. So let's correct that, and let's draw that nose, the mouth. And what we see is that the space between the tip of the nose and the upper lip is much smaller than the part of the lower lip and the chin. So once you have that mouth in, you can easily check where the line of the chin is. Then you check that negative space area, and then you can actually draw in the outer contour of the face. Keep that line as soft as possible, and if necessary, simply correct it. Maybe you made the chin a little pointy, then you simply take your eraser and you can in this stage you can correct all you want to get that good feel of the chin. And also the chin has to be in the right place. Then I drop a line here from the left mouth corner. And then I can actually just see where the part of the neck is. So that's a very, very handy tip too. And then I simply start to put in the pigments into my, well, nose and mouth study, you can call it. And for this particular drawing I was using the charcoal pencil, but the graphite pencil will do just as sufficient as the charcoal pencil will. So what you also can do, by the way, is draw with the pastel pencils if you want. And of course you can do this exercise on colored paper if you want. I did that too. This is actually my third exercise. So please make as many as possible. And for this stage, what I want to urgently want to ask you is to avoid harsh lines. And what we tend to do, and especially if you are a newbie at drawing portraits, is that you draw in contour lines around the lips. Please do not do that. Just try to look for the shades and avoid contour lines at all costs, because this will flatten your drawing. So if you put thick black dark lines around those lips, then the total 3D effect will disappear. So simply put in darks and lights. And what is also a very, very good exercise, and please don't get scared as you see this, is that you take a brush, which is dry and which is clean, of course. Then you take your pencil eraser and get rid of the cat. And then you can start drawing in the light with the pencil eraser. Now, this is an extra exercise, but I wanted to share this with you too, because in this way you can trigger your mind to watch for higher areas and areas that are in the shadow, and you can get a great big and better contrast between, in this case, the left side of the face, which is quite bright, while the right side of the face is all casted in the shadow. You can also draw out highlights, as I'm doing here, on the lower lip, or for instance on the chin part. And by doing this, so by stirring around those pigments and by rubbing them into your drawing paper, you can actually draw the light in. Now, this is a very, very nice study too. And I also did that on the left drawing, on the left lower drawing. And I simply used a charcoal pencil and printer paper, very cheap. And this drawing I'm doing on pastel paper, which has a lot more grain. And I also did one on the Canson Gray. So that's also a tip I want to hand out, is to try different kinds of paper, different kinds of material, and just see what brings you the most pleasure. And well, simply using a charcoal or simple graphite pencil, you can see, as I'm demonstrating here, that you can simply keep pushing those pigments around, and in that way I am triggering and I am training my brain and my eye and hand coordination to start drawing more and more realistic. And well, I'm daring myself to draw as 3D as possible. Now there is the darkest tones, the darkest gray values in this case are on that upper lip and on the tip of the chin, and then the neck, of course, but the neck is not my interest here. So what I'm actually doing is I'm trying to figure out those gray values and where to put them to get that 3D feel. So I simply keep stirring around and I try to draw in the directions of how the flesh is curved, if you want, how the lips are curved, those little wrinkles in the lips. So I simply just try it, and then I rub the pigments again in with that sturdy brush, because otherwise you would lose that soft feel. And once you start using a brush in your drawing, then you should continue that to get that feel of softness, the feel of skin, if you want. So just well, please just go ahead and see how far it will bring you. So I hope you are well, you're learning a lot from watching me simply pushing around those pigments. And you can actually go over and over your drawing, and you can keep correcting and training yourself as you are going. But then maybe at one point you want to start a third or a fourth try, and actually then put those drawings next to each other and compare them with each other and see, well, try to get your eye attention to those parts of your drawings that worked best for you and that gave the best result. And that's how you train yourself and how you trigger yourself to become that artist that you want to be. So, if you liked these tips, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps a lot. And of course, maybe you want to see this in a real time, then you can check out my Patreon page. You're very welcome there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next Friday.